Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at Madden 24 Superstar Mode, and what I'm going to be trying to do is pretty much having the worst combine possible to really see if it has any impact on pretty much where you get drafted. Now I have this pretty much all on a fast speed, just because, like I said, you go to 10 other YouTubers or YouTube videos to really find out how these cutscenes and everything go. So to start, we have the bench press. With this here, as you're going to see, I actually tried to do 0 reps on here, but it actually bugs out the projection because it can't give you a grade on it. So what I pretty much had to do for myself is give myself one single rep just so I'm able to grade something, just so it has an impact on the draft stock that you do. As you can see, it's actually kind of interesting doing a lot of these because you get a lot of the shakes and a lot of mess ups in how they do their reps, and so it actually makes it a pretty comical there for you to be able to enjoy. Like I said, this is one thing that was really nice about Madden adding back in, is that they had this. Like I said, I think the last time they had it was Madden 10. Madden 11 maybe I think was the last time they had this, so it's really something that fans have been clamoring for. So as you can see with that there, we do go down to an early second round pick, which pretty much means that you start off as a late first round pick no matter what. You kind of see that with how the story presents itself, just because a lot of times it's like, oh, after you get drafted, oh, he fell out of the top 10. So it's really seen as you're like a borderline first round pick when you come into this. Next, on the 40-yard dash, I literally just held down the right sticks to get a late start, and then I just didn't even press any of the left or right triggers to get as late as possible. With that F grade, I still stay at an early second, so that's one of the interesting things, is that it really takes 2 drills of mess-ups to really mean something. And then with this next one here, with the broad jump, I really liked it. I had to hit X once or twice just to finally get it, and then move the left stick the wrong way. So with that there, it actually gave a little funny animation as you're kind of like floating in air because of how bad the broad jump was. Now that brings me down to a middle second round pick. So with this next one, just hit the X button one time just to get set up, and then I pretty much didn't even hit anything or touch anything. I just let it go through to try to get as late as possible on my time. I think if you mess up the right stick, you can get it a little later, but overall you get that F grade. And then this last one was the drills, which is me just rushing to the QB in order to just fail every single one. And with that last F grade, that finally got me into late second round pick territory overall. With that, surprisingly, like I said, it does actually let you do that. Now this next thing goes into one of the things I'm going to mention in my dislikes about the mode, but it has you pick your overall, and it pretty much keeps you at that. Mind you, I said I wanted to be a 75, and in this cutscene here, Chad Johnson does say, hey, listen, like, you didn't do what you needed to do. It wasn't your day, but, I saw faith in you. Here, take a skill point. So with that, you do pretty much still pick your overall. So really that lowest 74 is the lowest you can go in this. But what we have next is me going into the interview process. Now, some of these I took longer on than others just because I was literally looking up the answers to make sure I got them wrong. Like I said, the interview isn't required, but it usually can have a big boost or drop on your draft stock. As you'll actually look into here, surprisingly enough, it really doesn't actually do anything. It can, but with my situation, when you're this bad, it really doesn't. So with that there, as you see, I'm literally going through every single question, purposely trying to get the wrong answers on everything. After that, it says 0 out of 10. I'm still a late second round pick, as you can see there, so it didn't have any impact, which makes it kind of known that that second round, late second, is really like the lowest you can get. You really can't go to 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. My guess here is just because since you're going to be in the green room for the sake of the story, it pretty much has a setup where you have to be within the first 2 rounds. Just because with that there, when it comes to being on television, after that, there's really no use of you still being in person there, which kind of would make a big hole in the story. But to be honest, it would be something nice that they could actually add in there. So now, got drafted by the Vikings in the late second, which makes sense. I'm a cornerback. They have a terrible corner room, at least how the ratings are in Madden. So with that there, it makes perfect sense. I have seen some people go into interesting setups when it comes to the teams they're with, but you can also, in the beginning, get to choose what you're doing. And then the next part here is just going through the, intro process of, meeting the team, talking to the GM, all that stuff. And I'll actually pause it at a certain point because if you look, it'll actually show where you're drafted. So it's going to show that I'm a late second round pick there with the team. At the second round, 24th pick. So that's really the lowest you can go, is that late second. And then you go through the usual process of signing your contract, going through, saying goodbye to the GM, doing your first press conference. And just overall there, like I said, that pretty much gives you an idea of what it's going to be. So I'm going to kind of go into what I like and don't like about the mode. So with that there, I do, like I did mention before, I do like the fact they definitely made improvement here. As you're seeing on here, I definitely like how your size and weight does impact what your first ratings are going to be, and some things don't impact. It's kind of similar to what other sports modes have done, especially, you'll see it in 2K. 2K adds a little bit more like wingspan and things like that to make it more in depth, but this at least gives you some kind of thing in there where it does have some kind of meaning, and even like small increments, like moving the speed from a 94 to 92 and then moving the strength and stamina up. So, it adds a little bit more depth than just, basic things like that, and it shows you what attributes it'll impact too. Overall, when it comes to the Madden cast mode of this whole thing, I didn't care for it much. It's kind of alright. They're short enough to where they don't overstay their welcome, and some of them are literally in like the social feed, so you can like not even acknowledge it if you want. But it gives you a nice idea. It doesn't fully bring up to certain things because, like, for example, with me going in the late second, on the draft class, or the draft screen after, it literally said, oh, he fell out of the top 10, and didn't really even mention how you completely fell out of the first round. So it pretty much just assumes that you're going to make it in the first round. It's similar to how 2K was, in like the late 2010s or whatever. It was kind of set up to with the draft showcase how you had to go first round. You couldn't go outside of that no matter how bad you played, which me personally, for most people, is going to be something that they're not going to care about, but someone I really like, because I like the idea of, coming out the mud and everything, of trying to work your way up. And that leads me to one of the last things I hate, is that they actually got rid of, they could do it in the regular franchise setup, but I wish the Superstar version had you setting up with not being an instant starter. This really lets you earn your spot, and it really could add more to the story of what they could do. Like I said, I didn't fully go through this, but when it comes to the beginning story, it sets you up with a nice foundation to keep building on as you're really going through the rest of the mode and everything like that. But in pretty much in my overall things, it's an alright mode. It's nice. I do have, like I said, this one guy as my main guy that I'm going to go through the Superstar setup with, just because with the position of corner, I felt like a 75 would be a decent starting point. But my other ones I am going to do just through franchise, so I have more control of what I want to do instead of the kind of like put into this box that the Superstar mode has you in. But overall, like I said, it's a little incremental improvement. I hope next year they really do a huge boost with it. But this, besides my thoughts, really gives you an idea of what it's like to be as bad as you could be. And like I said, that doesn't really give you a huge main difference when it comes to the setup. Overall, guys, though, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe and have a good one.